Welcome to the second session of Unit 4. In this class we are going to discuss about secure hash algorithm. Okay, so till now what we have seen is what is a hash function. The input to the hash function is a message. It can be of any size, and the output is a hash value, a fixed size value. Okay, so this is what, and we have also seen the properties of hash function. Okay, so it is a one-way function. Okay, it has many properties. The input can be a variable size, output can be a fixed, output will be always a fixed size. Its efficiency, it is very easy to calculate the hash function. Okay, so it is one way, pre-image resistant. Okay, so these are all properties we have discussed in the previous class. So now today we are going to discuss about examples of these hash functions. One of them, before going to the examples of hash functions, I want to discuss about the structure of hash functions. Now for example, if you take a message, to calculate the hash, it can be of any size. It can be of any size. What we have to do is, in any hash algorithm, first the message is divided into blocks. Just like encryption and decryption also, you will be dividing the message into the blocks. So each algorithm will have its own size. For example, if you take DES, the size of the block is 64-bit. If you take AES, it can be 128, it can be 256. Okay, if you take Blowfish, the size is 64-bit. In the same way, depending on the algorithm, your total message is divided into n blocks. For example, if the last block doesn't have n bits, you will be doing padding, and padding also depends on the algorithm. So now what you are going to do is, you are going to take initial value h0 in the algorithm, which is of m bits, and you have a compression function. For the compression function, the first block of the message and h0 is the input. You are going to get h1, and again this h1 is the input to the compression function, and even m2, and the input is m2. And you are going to get hash 2. This h2 is the hash of m1 and m2. Like that, sequentially you will be performing all the compression functions, and finally at the last you are going to get something called message digest, which is called as message digest, and which is also of m bits. Okay, so this is almost all hash functions will have the same structure, because the message is of variable size, but the hash value or the message digest is of fixed size. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about a simple basic algorithm. Maybe this is not a very good algorithm, okay, but still we are going to discuss about this algorithm. A simple hash function algorithm. Justly what we are going to think is, the compression function is just a simple XOR. So what are you going to do here is, the hash value is equivalent to block 1 XOR block 2 XOR block 3 XOR block 4, so on to block 1. So finally you are going to get a simple block which is the hash value. So now this image will clearly tell you the reason. So now first, initially the message is divided into m blocks. Each block is of size n bits. Okay, each block is of size n bits, and you will be performing all the first bits. You are going to get C1. You will be performing XOR of all bits. You are going to get C2, C3, C4, Cn, Cn. So this value is called as hash code or message digest. If you consider simple hash function, it is having some loopholes. Okay, so now basically a good hash function should always satisfy these requirements. Already in the last class we have seen variable input size. Yes, whatever may be the size of the hash function, whatever the size of the message, okay, this simple hash function will accept. And the next one is fixed output size. Yes, whatever may be the message size, maybe 1 block or 2 blocks or 10 blocks, the hash code value will be of n bits. Okay, so the second one is also satisfied. Efficiency. What is efficiency is the time taken to calculate the hash value. It should be in the polynomial time. Okay, so obviously it's very fast, because XOR of m blocks is very easy. It's very easy. It is going to take polynomial time. So definitely one for loop is sufficient. So definitely it is very efficient. And next, it is one way. Okay, it is having one way property. Means given a hash, it is very difficult to find the message. Yes, of course, if you are given a hash value, it is very difficult to find the message. And now this simple hash function is not satisfying this second pre-image resistant and collision resistant. So here what happens is, I can easily find two messages which are having the same hash value. That means this simple hash function is not satisfying all the criterias. Okay. And second thing, the last one, it is also not satisfying pseudo randomness also. Pseudo randomness means if I change these two bits, that will affect only Cn. These two bits doesn't have any effect on these. Okay. So it's not so random. Okay. And if you, for example, if these two are 0 0, if I change 1 and 1, there will be no change in the hash value. So this hash function is not good. It is a normal hash function, but it cannot be used as a cryptographic hash function, because all the cryptographic hash functions should satisfy all these rules. That is very important. Okay. Coming to the real algorithm where we'll be using in cryptography is secure hash algorithm, SHA. We call it as SHA algorithm. Okay. It is designed by NIST and NASA in 1993. So there are number of versions. SHA-1, it is based on D4. Okay. That is also one of the very good algorithm. Okay. So but in our syllabus we are having SHA algorithm only. Okay. Because this is widely used, and there are different versions of SHA algorithm. Now if you take this, there are different versions. SHA-1, SHA-224, SHA-256, SHA-384 and SHA-512. This is the latest one, and we are going to discuss about this algorithm called SHA-512. Okay. So now what is the difference between these algorithms is the message digest. So we have seen that whenever you perform the hash function, you will get a fixed hash value. If the fixed hash value is 160 bit, it is SHA-1. 224, SHA-224, 256, SHA-256. Like that, if you come to SHA-512, the hash size or the message digest value is 512, and there is a limitation of size of the message on which you can perform this algorithm. So it is the message should be less than 2 power 64, 2 power 64, 2 power 64, 2 power 128, 2 power 128. 2 power 128 is a very big value, terabytes, gigabytes. It's a very huge value. So you don't have that much size file which you have to perform hash value. Okay. And coming to the block size. So whenever you want to perform hash, definitely you have to divide the message into blocks. Okay. SHA, when 1993 when it was designed, the block size was 512, and latest SHA-512 is 1024. The block size is 1024. So now number of steps are nothing but rounds. So we have seen the compression function. In the compression function there will be 80 rounds, which I will discuss in the next slides. Okay. And the word size is 64 bit. Word size for SHA-512 is 64 bit. Okay. So now how it is useful is, now at present you are going to have all 64 bit processors. So it is better, if you have a 64 bit processor, it is better to use SHA-512. Okay. Efficiency will be very high. Okay. So now coming to the algorithm. So SHA-512 overall you will be like this. So you have the message is divided into blocks. The size of each block is 1024 bits, and you will use the initial H0, which is the initial value of 512 bit, and this is input is given to the compression function. This H0 and the first block is given as input to compression function. You are going to get 512 bits. This 512 bits again is given to compression function with block 2. Again you are going to get 512 bits. Like that, it's a chaining process, and finally end of the last block you are going to get 512 bits. Okay. This is the overall view. Okay. So now let us go into the details of how to divide them into 1024 bit blocks. What is the compression function? So finally end of the last block compression function value is the message digest of this total message. So now this I have just expanded the previous one. Now if you consider this, you have the message is of size L bits. Now what are you going to do here is, you have to pad some data in such a way that the number of bits is divisible by 1024. So what are you going to do here is, definitely you will be adding 128 bits. This 128 bits is the length of the bits. That is the reason why in the previous slides we have seen that the message size should not be more than 2 power 128. So after that, after adding this 128 bits, in the middle you have to add some bits. The number of bits should be added in such a way that this total length is divisible by 1024. And how many bits you are going to add is 1 with all zeros. So you will be adding 1 with all zeros in such a way that this total length is divisible by 1024. So obviously after making it after making number of bits multiple of 1024, you will be dividing them into blocks m1, m2, m3, m4, so on to mn. You are going to have n blocks. On this you have to perform the hash and you have to get the hash value. So what are you going to do is compression function. I am discussing about the compression function. So initial h0 is the input to this function. Okay, what is this function is? This is a function. Okay, it is having some 80 rounds. It is having a function, you will be performing 80 rounds, and the input to this function is 512 bit h0 or the previous hash and 102 bit block m1. Okay, so 1024 bit m1 block and 512 bit h0. The output is again 512 bit. This 512 bit and h0 are simply XOR, and then you are going to get h1. Okay, so this is the hash of the first block. And to find the hash of m1 and m2, this is given as input to the function f. Okay, so this is of 512 bit and this is of 1024 bit. Okay, so these two inputs you will be performing some function in this, and that will be XORed with h1 again. You are going to get h2. Like that, every block you are going to perform the same thing, and finally you are going to get hn. So I think you have understood about secure hash algorithm, and the output of the hash code, final block hash code is 512 bit. This is you will call it at the hash value of this total message. And now I have to discuss about this function f. The input to this function f is a 512 bit previous hash value and 102 bit message block. Now what are you going to do here is, you see there are two things, 1024 bit message block and 512 bit. And how many rounds are there means 80 rounds. So now I will be dividing this 512 bit block into 64 bit numbers. So how many you are going to get is almost 8 numbers you are going to get. I am going to call them as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So each one is of size 64 bit. Okay, so I will be what are you going to do here is, the input here is the previous hash value. The previous hash value is divided into 64 bit blocks. There will be 8, and I am going to call them as A, B, C, D, F, G, H. Okay, and this is a round function. This round function is performed 80 times in the function. 80 times this is performed, and here you are going to have some transformations in each round. Okay, so now A is directly taken like this and kept as B. B is directly taken and kept as C. So now if you take small a, what are you going to perform is, you are going to perform measure, summation, modulo addition, okay, sigma, like that, ch. There are a lot of functions. Okay, I'll be explaining about these functions. Okay, so now ch of E, G, F is equivalent to E and F XOR not of E and G. Like that, you are having lot of functions. You don't need to by heart these functions, but these kind of functions are there, where the input to this round function is a 512 bit and the output is also 512 bit. Now we are discussing about this round function. How many rounds are there? We are going to discuss about this function. This function contains 80 round functions. That means in the first round, the initial previous hash value is divided into 64 bits, and you are going to get an output as 512 bits. Again, that is input to another round function. Like that, you are going to have 80 rounds. Now what is changing in the 80 rounds is this WT and KT. Okay, so if you see this WT and KT, these two values are changing in these 80 rounds. So the total, all rounds are same, only WT and KT are changing. Okay, so now I will discuss about WT and KT. Okay, so WT is generated by the 1024 bit block message, and KT is a constant value. Okay, I'll discuss in the next slides. So these are the functions you are going to have. Okay, so now how many rounds are there? How many round functions are there in the compression function? 80 round functions are there. Okay, so now for 80 round functions, I should have W0 to W79, K0 to K79. Now let us discuss how to generate W0 to W79. So now you are going to have a message, okay, M block, which is of size 64 bit, and now WT is also of size 64 bit. Now in this 1024 bits, I can divide them into W0, W1, W2, W3, W4. So I'll get up to 16 W's, which is W0 to W15. Okay. After that, I'll be generating W16 using W0, W1, W9, W14. Okay. Like that. I'll be generating WT using WT minus 16, WT minus 15, WT minus 7, WT minus 2. So this is how I'll be generating each W until I get 80 W's, which is the last one is W79. W79 is generated using W63, 65, 71 and 76. And if you see this row 1 and row 0, row 1 and row 0 is a rotation. These are a simple functions you are going to have. Using these simple functions, you will be generating W's. Okay. These W values are dependent on the message block. Once again, I am telling you, the compression function has two inputs. One is the previous hash value of the block and the other one is the message block. The previous hash value is divided into 8 64-bit blocks and you will be performing 80 rounds. In each 80 rounds, there are two things which are varying, that is WT and KT. Using message blocks, you will be generating W0 to W79. Okay. And so see, this is how you are going to have W0 to W79 you will be generating. First initially W0 to W15 are already taken from the message, and after that you will be generating from W16 to W79 using left shift, etc, etc. This is how you are going to generate all the W's. And now you have also generate K0 to K79. So K0 to K79 are fixed values. Algorithm has already defined it. Okay. So each one is of 64-bit block K0, like that K79. You no need to by heart them. Okay. So you need to by heart them. Just remember that K values are fixed values in each rounds. Okay. So this is how you will be these are the K values are already fixed and W values are generated by using message, and the hash value goes through 80 rounds. Okay. So finally, after getting output after 80 rounds, the output you are going to get is 512 bit. This 512 bit and 512 bit are simply XORed and you are going to get H1, like that H2, H3, H4, so on to the last hash code. So this hash code depends on the total message. Okay. So every bit is responsible for generating this hash code. For example, in the message a single bit changes here, automatically hash code value will change. And one thing, okay, here if you have a small change, that will have a greater effect on hash value, because H1 will change. If a small bit changes here, H1 will change. That will create a great change in H2. That will create a great change in H3, H4, so on to Hn. But now, for example, in the last bit, a single bit has changed. That might not have greater effect on Hn. Okay? Understood? This is all about your secure hash function, and this is a round function which will be done in 70 times. Hope you have understood this. Thank you very much.